do I say? I do believe it's that Friday feeling. What? Yes? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. What is he on about? Yes, it is that Friday feeling. And we're back in Dad's RC Hangar with myself, Chris, and everyone out there. Sit down, relax, grab yourself a cup of tea, and we'll get on with today's video. Yeah, what is today's video? Well, finally, all the way from the US of A, we have got our upgrades. Yes, yes, from Brendan at Just Plain Crazy. I will get that right one day. And he sent a sticker. He sent stickers. Yes, look at this. We love stickers. There we go, if you can see that. Can I get that in focus? Let's have a look. Yes. Just Plain Crazy. Yes, all the way from the USA. Good old Brendan. And Brendan makes these and they are available. Yes, right. Just here, just above me should be, is the email address you meant to send an email to. Well, you're not meant to send them in, but if you want these, send an email saying, hi Brendan, this is blah, blah, blah. I would like a set of these because I need them for my Draco, because my Draco undercarriage is kaput. And he will tell you how much it's going to cost, how much it's going to send to you, which is a really reasonable price. And also, he done me a favour. He done me a favour, and I don't know where it is. Yes, I do. It's over here. And I can't reach it. Yes, I can. Can I? Yes. Yes. We have got a spare pair. So, if you've got a Draco, then stick around. And we'll be telling you how you can win this free of charge. Yes, we will send you one. Oh, yes. Well, myself will send you one. Because Brendan was kind enough to send me one to give away to some lucky person who also has a Draco. Got to find a place for this sticker. Maybe we'll save it for Hangar V2, which is coming. Hangar V2 is coming. Yes, it is. Epic. Epic. Yes, I had to sell my soul, but it's okay. And okay, wasn't to the devil. No, 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 no. I just sold my soul to the demons of the playing world. Anyway. Yes, what are they? These are these two lovely bits of metal. Look at this. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Look at this. Made in the USA. Fantastic. The quality of these are awesome. And we're going to stick them to our undercarriage, which goes on this inside leg. So we've got to take this apart in a minute. So I've seen many videos where people have crushed the undercarriage. You know, has got the spongy, and we've got the little wheels that are really great, which I've changed obviously, and they are the air-filled wheels. But you know, laws of physics, that energy has to go somewhere, and the little pistons or shock, should I say, and the tyres will not dissipate all that energy if you have a hard landing, which you know we all do. We all do, even the professionals and the superheroes. And I'm sure my friend Paul Heckles has a hard landing once in a blue moon. But myself, yes, I have, I'm a bit rough in my landing sometimes. So this helps. And at the end of the carbon fibre, because it's only a carbon fibre undercarriage inside, as you'll see in a minute, it's got some weak points. And, you know, that energy has to go somewhere. Laws of physics. You can't get around the laws of physics. And the laws of physics says if you've got something that's a bit stronger, then it's going to take that input. So you've got the tyres, which have changed, which are the air-filled tyres, which is going to suck up some of that energy. Then you've got the pistons that E-flite so sexily put on this plane from the original design from Mike. That will also take some of that energy away. So now you're dissipated, but you still got that bit of energy, and that little bit of energy will crack something and break something, as you must have seen in so many of your flights. And this, with what we'll do, we'll go through this. I mean, this is all from Brendan as well, is that you don't glue this bit. We'll put a bit of glue in here, a bit of epoxy, and they are bolted on. And then it gives that bit of flex, but it's also still, so stops all this breaking. And by the time it gets to here, the energy is almost dissipated. It's a bit of, in fact, yes, that's all it is. That's all it is. Yeah, what energy? What energy? All gone. So it's always good for do this. And obviously, you know, E-flite and Horzon Hobby, you know, it's all about cost at the end of the day. You know, they could add all this sort of stuff to the plane, but it'll cost you an extra fortune. And no one's going to pay that. They probably would. I mean, you know, this is such a sexy plane, but when you think about it, you know, I go on about, oh, I wish it was this and I wish it was that. But hey, at the end of the day, it's all about dollar. Right, so we're going to get this now. Also, these versions, if you can see, if you've seen these before or you've seen them from Brenda's channel, these did come with 2 drill holes in. Now, inside the Draco undercarriage, as you'll see, it comes with two holes where the fairing is. Oh, there's not. Is it fairing? Oh no, plastic stuff where it's screwed inside, and it differs It differs, some differ, I don't know why, but maybe the jig changed or someone drill changed, who knows, but it did differ. So that what he's done now is supplied them with no holes, so we'd have to drill our own holes, which should be interesting. So without further ado, let's change the camera position and let's get stuff done. Alrighty, so we've got the undercarriage, and I did take the wheels off, just because it's a lot easier, because come on, let's face it, these are huge wheels. So the first thing we need is magno trays. Yes, we've got our magno trays. It's even got some magnetic stuff in there, so we don't lose our bits and pieces, and I will do one for either side. You know, sometimes what I do is I do one side at a time, so then I know where all the bolts and screws go back to, because my brain is just not what it used to be. So first things first is that this suspension here is all attached to the bottom of the undercarriage, which we want to take off, obviously, otherwise we're not going to get the plastic off. This is just a nylock nut, so you can use a couple of pliers, hold one side, and then unbolt another side. I'm sure you could do it with a spanner or even a mini socket. I'm not sure what size is actually. Let's have a look. See, I mean that's a diddy nut. I'm not sure what size it is, but into the magno tray and then out with a nice little machine bolt, which is really nice actually. It's a nice, you probably won't be able to get it in focus, but yeah, it's nice. In the magno tray, and this hopefully should fall off, which it does. There you go. Hello. Woohoo. We'll leave them ones on because I want to see what we can do, how it all slides off. Now we will use our screwdriver, which if I reach over here, and finally, if I can get it, because I was never prepared, as you know, it's the purple screwdriver. Yes, the purple screwdriver making an appearance again. So there's a little Phillips screw here. I might change these Phillips screws, or can I? Or these no, I think these are self-tappers. So that's a little self-tapper that goes into there. Now, does this come off yet? No, there's another screw here. That's kind of like a black screw, like it's a different kind of screw actually. Does this all fall apart yet? So we'll see. I think it will do. I think it's because we've got this big bit on, I think. I don't know. I should have actually looked, didn't I? Shouldn't I? How Brendan done his. There's a little black screw at the top there, into the magno tray. So does that come out yet? It feels like it just wants to be prized open. But I've got a feeling that there might be something on here. So what I'll do is there's another screw here, Phillips head. We'll take that out because I'm not sure if something else is holding it, you see. And I'll start ripping things out. So take note what I'm doing, so if I do break something, you know what to do. Right, that is a long one, a long screw. That just pulls up, so okay, so what else is holding this on? Don't think there's anything else that's holding it on really. Oh, I see. So this plastic just kind of does come off. You just need to kind of like separate it a little bit. Just separate it gently. There you go. So if you can see that, you see kind of like it's joined. You just need to, I think there was a seal there. Oh, there is a seal. It does come apart. It does come apart. It was just very well. It's a great fitment. As I say, E-flite have done a great job, so it does fit in there. So that will just come apart. Okay, so we'll put that in the magnet tray. So we're left here with, so did that, yeah, that needs to come off. So now we've got two bolts here. As you can see, that needs to come off. There's also a bolt at the end we'll need to take off in a minute, but we'll concentrate on this one as for a start. So somewhere, if I can get it home. All right, there's a Phillips at the back. So okay, so we could use, like, you know, you could have used a spanner, but I haven't got a spanner out that's I don't know what short wheel it is, but anyway, I'll just hold it with the pliers one side, and we'll take off the screws the other side. Could change these for the RTL stuff, which I do love, which are the Allen key heads, hex heads, because these do strip. Not that you'd probably ever go back into here again, hoping so anyway. But yeah, so that's pretty simple. These are quite long actually. Let's get that out a bit more. Come on, come on, come on. Okay, right, here we go, it's out. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put the nylock nut back on there. If you can. Yeah, I think I might change it. I'll see if I've got the right, some right size. Because then, you know, they look a bit, not stripped, but there you go. Little diddy thing there, so that goes into the magnet tray. And we'll do the same with this one. So it looked like it would sort of screwed itself into the carbon fibre as well, which means it's a really good tight fit. And there you go, and there's the little suspension kit on there. So in fact I'll just put that one back on there. In fact I'll put them both back on there just so I know where things go. Everyone's got their own way of, like, you know, a friend of mine, yeah, that's screwed in there. So that holds quite tight in there, and that's why it was, you know, having a bit of pain to get out, but it's good, it's good. It's better be tough tight than a loose tight, as they say, missus. A friend of mine, you know, he will mark everything out, draw it on a bit of paper, which is a good thing. So if you draw the undercarriage on a bit of paper, and then obviously you can put, you know, what he does, he puts labels next to the screws, and then points to where the screws come from, which is a great thing. Right, so this should slide off, and there it does. Hello! There you go. People looking at that thinking it's probably something like a shiwi or something. It certainly looks like that, doesn't it? If you don't know what a shiwi is, well, there you go. Right, so there you go. That's a bit funky. It's nice, isn't it? So as you can see, it's just carbon fibre. What we'll do is that we'll leave the other side, because you don't need to see both sides. You know, the video would take forever otherwise. Or do you? Alright, okay, there you go. All clean of all screws and everything else. You can see there's all the carbon. You can see these are the two holes that can be different on here. And these little brass and stainless, if I can get, I don't think that's getting in focus, is it? Is it brass and stainless at the end there? So that needs to come off as well. And there you go. So now our undercarriage is naked. There's a couple of, like, I don't know what it is, burrs there or something. It's just a bit of, if you can, yeah, you see that, it's like that. I don't know where that's been made, so we need to probably sand this down. Let's get a piece of metal. Let's get the right side. Obviously, both, there is two sides to it. And there you go. So you can see it's just lifting up there, and that is because of that little burr. Now remember, this is carbon fibre, so when you do sand it down, make sure you're wearing a mask, because carbon fibre is bad stuff. So what we've got to do after we've deburred that, should I say, after we deburred, after we deburred, we need to then put some epoxy along here and along here. Before we do that, before we epoxy, we need to mark up a couple of holes, and then we need to drill the holes out of here, so then this will fit lovely and tight. And then we'll need to epoxy down this edge here and down this edge here. And then squeeze that tight, put the screws in it, hold it tight, and hopefully within the time of the epoxy, it will set and be strong. And then, you know, so what happens is that you leave this bit unpoxied, if that's a word, just so it gives it a bit of flex. It has got a bit of flex in this, but when it lands, this is protecting, because obviously all the undercarriage, the suspension, it's all relying on this here, this hole here. Now they have made this hole smaller, I do believe, from the first ones, but this is where it tends to crack along here. And obviously once this cracks, you know, you're forever trying to fix it and bits and pieces. So with this in place, with the steel in place, which is aluminium, I believe, which is really light and well made, it's going to take that force and it will bring it up here. And then up to this joint here, so then if it does flex, you know, it's got room to flex here, but it's got the stability of the aluminium here. So it's a great design, and Brendan's done a great job. And as I say, we did leave links below as well in case you missed it on the video. The email that you need to email Brendan to say, hi, I would love a set of these, how do I go about it? And yeah, a PayPal transaction later, they are on your way, or on their way, should I say. Right, let's get some bits and pieces. What I'm going to do, I'm going to sand this down. You don't need to see that. I'm just going to do it with a bit of a file, but I'm going to put my mask on and sand that down so it's nice and smooth. And then we'll come back and we'll mark these out very simply. I have got, if I can find them, this is called the long NIB marker Big Thumb. And what it is, if you could see that on there, it's got a long shaft, misses, and then it's at the end you've got the marker, so you can put it into a hole, mark the end, which is great for when we want to go through the carbon and onto the metal, getting all up close and personal here. So we'll put it through. So if I move the metal, we'll put it through the hole, and then it's going to mark. It's definitely, you know, it can go that far, but obviously it's marker. Great little pens, but we'll use that. We'll mark up a hole, and then we'll get a steel bit, drill a couple of holes. Alrighty, so I thought I'd just do a quick one. As you can see, I've rubbed that bump down, and I've decided to key the rest of the area as well. I'll just get it all flat, because you know it's built in a process or in a jig or something or whatever else. Yeah, and then I did just scar up a bit on the metal as well, just to make it adherable, because we're going to stick some what are we going to stick on, Chris? We're going to stick some resin. There is different types of resin. I've only got my normal resin in here, so that's all I'm going to use for this. But I just want to make sure that it all fits and everything else. And then what you need to do, you need to get some alcohol rub. That's what you do, because you need this surface clear as anything. So if you just get some alcohol rub and you know, just wipe all the degreasing, basically. It's a little degreaser, just to get all the grease, because we are bonding. And once it's again, you know, give that a wipe. As you can see, all the carbon crap on there as well. So you don't want to be putting that on your fingers and then eating your pork pies. Oh no! So once you've wiped all that, get rid of it. And then I'm just going to sort of like, I think what I'm going to do before I mark it, I'll get the right one. I'm going to just bolt this together so it's as flat as possible, and then put and then we'll just drill a couple of holes. I'm just going to put like a bracket there, because we want it in we want it in a perfect place. Because if you drill holes and you've drilled holes in this, sorry, you drilled holes in the wrong place, you're going to be in trouble. Okay, so we've got our pen, our little marker pen that I do love, and basically we're just going to just on these two holes over here. If I can get a shot, I'm just going to go dead center and splodge. Dead center and splodge, and I don't know if you can see in there, probably not, but there is anyway. You're gonna have to trust me on that. There is a little red dot, making sure that the red dot is in the center. That is the biggest thing, because we don't want to be making this like Swiss cheese and drilling a lot of holes. Alrighty then, so here we are. I've cut the two holes. Now what I used a nail, just a small pin nail, held it, hit it with a hammer in the middle of the red dot, just to make an indent for the drill to grip. If I can find another, where did I use this? I just used this plain nail like that, like so, and I put it over the head like so, and then hit it with a hammer, and that gave me enough of an indent for the drill to bite. Because otherwise you'll find that, you know, if you've haven't got the sharpest steel drill, because you use like a high-speed steel drill bit going through aluminium, if the end is not sharp enough, you'll slip, or you'll just move off just a couple of mil, but that enough to not fit properly. So there, yeah, top tip if you haven't got a hole punch or a hole, I can't remember the name of it calls, but you push on it, it goes ka-chink, and it makes that hole for you. There's a name for it. But if I line that up, you can just about see the holes. The screwdriver not going to go in there. Don't know what I've done with my pen. Well, I can use the nail, the comeback of the nail, part 2. There you go, there's my little hole. Now I did use a 3, now obviously they do come with screws. Brendan's kind enough to bring the screws and fresh nylocks and also hex screws. So what we'll be doing, we'll be using this, but if you like to push these in. Now I use a 3.5mm drill bit. You'll have to work out what that is in Imperial, I'm not sure. Or if you can get hold of a 3.5mm drill bit, then use that. And as you can see, I mean, I'm hoping this is all in focus, he says. He says the worst thing, it really is. There, as you can see, it's lovely. Now, it's basically a 3mm hole. But with a 3.5, you just got a couple of mil play. Not even that. It's just a couple of mil play. Either, I don't know if I can see it rocking as, oh, that bit of carbon. Carbon fibre, look. Oh, can you get that in focus? Oh, look. Oh. In a bit, I'm going to have to go and get some tweezers in it and get that out. But yeah, watch out for these carbon fibre bits and pieces as the helicopters go over the head again. But there you go. So that is ready for a bit of epoxy. Alright, so I've mixed up some 30-minute epoxy to give me a bit more time. Now, epoxy, I'm using the Z-poxy. That's good for ceramics, metal, wood, you name it, and even carbon fibre. So it's a good all-round epoxy. So I'm going to make sure that's the right side, which it is, and then I'm going to do some epoxy in. I'll take that bolt out. Will that bolt come out? I mean, it doesn't matter if it's got epoxy around it. Let's just take that out. Take it out. Let's get it naked. So all I'm going to do is just epoxy all the surfaces up to that crease. We don't want to go above that crease. We want to leave that nice and loose for flexibility. So it gives it a bit more. It's got somewhere to for the last excess energy. So we've made sure obviously all our holes are the same and fit and everything else before we start doing epoxy. But usually 30-minute epoxy is always a good thing because it gives you that bit of time just in case you make any boo-boos like I do, as you've seen in Dad's RC Hangar many of a time. So let's stick that in there like so, which is the right way. So we're leaving this little crease upwards here. We don't want to do anything with that. Then I'm going to go get with our one washer. Oops. I'm hoping, I just want to check actually why that's on there. This is why I take my photographs. Which way did that brass? So, this is why you should take pictures, you see. Now, trouble is I took a big picture but I didn't, so that's got the inside. So, the inside, right, so the brass is actually on this side. Good thing about taking pictures, you see, otherwise I would have forgot that was that side. So if I can get that in that hole, like so, and then we do need a washer on this side. And we're just going to get some Loctite on this. Mind you, there's quite a bit of a washer on there, but I'll stick some Loctite anyway, just a tad. I'll just stick a bit on the thread. You don't need much. Just to squidge them. I think this is kind of running out a bit. There you go, just a bit on there. And then if I find where I just put the bolt or nut, I just put that nut, so then that just stops it sort of shaking off, as they say. Let's get that in there. Now before I do anything else, I want to put both my hex nut screws in. I hope you're seeing all this. I do these videos and then I look back when I've recorded and go, oh. So they're both in there like so, and I do believe the nuts were on this side. Always take note of where you're putting everything, because if you don't, you'll end up like me. Now these are nylock, so they don't need any thread lock because they've got a bit of nylon to stop them shaking off. Now these nuts, I'm not sure if they're Imperial, but you're using a 2.0 hex driver, and then I've got like a 5.5 mm, which seems to do the job. Sort of socket set. It's kind of like an old thing I dug around in the cabinet down there, full of tools and bits and pieces, and thought, oh, that'll do. So before you go mega tight, just make sure, because we left that couple of mil, just a couple of mil, I just want to make sure that it's all fitting as perfect as possible, because you don't want any kind of weird things going on. So that looks good. So what I'm going to do before I get too excited, I suggest you do get like a little spanner or wrench. So I should have got one out while I did the brake, but obviously you didn't see the brake, but I did. I just want to tighten that up. As tight as possible. Really should use spanners at this point, but I'll just do that. That's nice and tight. I'm loving that. That's tight. And obviously you've got the thread lock on there as well, so that's nice and tight. That's all oozing out. That's sitting in the crease nice and tight. So we're going to go for gold. And then lock these tight, and you can see all the epoxy oozing out. Make sure it's nice and tight. Obviously be careful, you don't want to sort of like mega Arnold Schwarzenegger tight, but he's tight. And then just quickly wipe the excess ooze. And there you go. One fitted strengthener for the Draco. Alrighty, so we've left it just over half an hour, and it's all pretty, it's got a kind of a low tack to it, but it's basically dry. So now we know everything's all cushy. What we can do is take these back off again. Let's do it that way, it'll be easier. Let's take the bolts and screws back on again, so we can put under the undercarriage assembly. So as I say, you know, you don't have to use these screws. I mean, you know, the Nylox can be used again. If you're not too happy about that, then you can always put a bit of thread lock, or use a different kind of nut and bolt, like the old ones that come on, that's with the assembly. But I just want to do that. It's just so when it's being tacked, when it's being bonded, epoxied, sorry. Oh, it's going to be strong. So I just want it to, you know, to flat as possible. So right, now what I've got to do is put these on the right way, and I think that's the no. That's outside. I think it's. And which way does this go here? It goes forward. It goes forward, and these go on the outside. Then the skirts need to be like so. I think that's the correct way. So what we do, we can put the screw back in. Oh, I put the wrong skirt on, but doesn't matter. Let's put these back on. And they should all sit down there nice and neat once they're screwed in. Sorry if I'm doing a bit back again. Yeah, that's good. That's fine. And then what we can do, we can start putting all this assembly back together again, if I remember how it all goes. Alright, I didn't do a fast like a fast thing of me putting it all together, because I absolutely confused myself, and I had to go in and look at the other footage that I'd done. I mean, if you've got a my short-term memory is terrible, so if you've got one like me, then this is the time that you need to look at stuff. Right, so you can see the way the angle of the undercarriage is going. So this way, if I do it this way is facing forward. So that face forward, the corners, the kind of the wedge shape here needs to be pointing out the back. So that's when you know you've got the right way round. Also, I did stick my middle piece, so that's kind of like a guesstimate of where things go. So as these things, it is pointing that way. Now, what you have to do with that in mind, let me just see if I'm going to show you if I can get this in focus. Right, so there you go. Where's my purple screwdriver? Right, so you're screwing into the outside with the bolts outside, like so, and then on here you've got, in fact, this one needs to be. Hang on, let's see if I can get it in focus. So annoying. I do apologise. That's got to be spun round actually, because both the nuts should be on the inside, and at the top the nut should be on the outside. Okay, so it does get a bit confusing. Well, it got me confusing for me. So when you look at it, so it's facing forward, they look like that. So these are nice and straight. So if you look at this one, the same. It's on there on the side like that. And to say this is facing forward. So as you can see here, and then inside you see you've got our strengthened undercarriage. There you go, simple as that. Okay, so we can always unscrew this. I did screw this up just so I knew where I was going, but we kind of need it to go up a bit, so we'll unscrew this again. It's to say, you know, well, I mean, it's only because I'm doing it on a video that it's all a bit mayhem and doing it in one day as usual. Put that in the Magnum tree. So then we can lift this right up. With this lifted right up, you get the section, and it just fits on there lovely. And you line those two holes up. And if you remember, we had the silver screw and then the black screw. So somewhere around here is the black screw. And I believe that was on the bottom and the silver was at the top, if I can remember that correctly. So if I get these lined up, that lined up, yes it is. So I think the black screw is at the front anyway. If it's not, then you know, you make sure you do it the right way. This is all about pictures, so you know, if you've got a short-term memory, which I have a problem, then you know, just take pictures every step. So then when you get it all back together again, it's not it's in the correct place. So as I say, I'm not sure if the black or the silver went which way that went. I think you can just see them. Well, I can't hard see it. So that they go into those. So that's nice and slotted. And then this just slots in. In fact, was that was that screwed on? Did I make a boo boo again? It might have. Did the essay? Okay, yeah, okay. So take out the black. Do apologise. Stick with me, you'll learn nothing. Right, so we'll take out the black one. It was the black one that was in here because it's got the flange on it. It's got a small flange. And the reason for that is when you put this one on, I don't know how to show it. Well, I can't really see the camera, so I do apologise. That fits into the, you've got little, in fact if I do it this way you'll probably be able to see, you've got little 3 standoffs and they go into the little holes, and that just sort of should snugly fit on. It is hard trying to do it while I'm trying to video. It'd be easy for me just to, you know, spin this around so I could do it easy. There we go. And then that leaves that's got like a little, if I show you on here, it's got a little tab. You see that little tab? So the black screw goes in the bottom over that because the black screw has like a flange or a wider area at the top that will hold that into place as my phone goes off. The cameras, and I believe that is that correct? Have I done that correctly? I don't think I have, you know. I think the silver screw goes in the front. I think I'm lying to everybody because that wasn't long enough. So it's a good job you have to watch. It's always good to watch the movie and then do it, because if you don't, yeah, it's the silver screw that goes in the back there and the black screw goes at the top. But as I say, if you take pictures, then you won't be like me and be going, right, let's see if I can get this into focus. Let me get it to focus. Oh, push the camera. So we're looking here, inside here. Can we see it in there? I don't think you can, just about. So you can see the black screw at the top and the silver screw goes into that, and then that's done. And as soon as this is done, this can then come over, which kind of fits in there really nice. And then we can put the screw back in. So let's make sure that we're lining up with the little inside plastic. Hey, magnetic screw now, or magnetic screwdriver. The purple's got all magnetic. Let's just stick it in my hand first, shall we? There we go. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, it looks, well, it's not complicated at all, but once you do it, it's done. And look at that, it's ready to put the wheel on. So now we've got that. Now we're going to have our big wheel, then we've got the suspension, and then we've got the metal inside that can't even be seen unless you look on the edge there. That's basically our support and strength. Well, that is the end of today's show. Another end of that Dad's RC Hangar Friday feeling, but that Friday feeling is going to continue all weekend long. The sun is starting to pop its head out. I would have been flying today, but unfortunately the amount of rain we've had, the actual field that we go on is bogged, and it's a bit of a nightmare parking around the corner and taking all your stuff onto the field. So anyway, we had to finish a lot of stuff in the hangar, and now the Draco is nearly finished. Basically all the electronics are done and they're all tidied and everything else. Or just the little bits and pieces that to go on in the back window, but we'll show you all that on the Maiden. I will record all that and then obviously add it to the end of the Maiden so you can see. But the main thing is our undercarriage. Yes, our strengthened undercarriage with the wheels on. We've got our inflatable tyres, which are, what are they called? They're called the K-Van, K-A-V-A-N, K-Van tyres. Then we've got our sexy suspension. Oh yes. And then we've got our extra strength undercarriage from Just Plain Crazy. Yes. So once again, if you do want some of these, here's another little, this is the text that you've got to write down for the email. It is in the description. So you say, Brendan, I want some of these, because you should get some of these. But if you want a pack, you have got a Draco, or you're thinking of getting a Draco for Christmas, and you do want an upgrade, and you want a Just Plain Crazy sticker, and of course, Dad's Aussie Hangar sticker that we're throwing in here, then all you need to do is that down in the description, or when you do a comment, if you just write, I don't know, what should we say? Something simple, like Draco upgrade. Put Draco upgrade in little comments in your comments, and what I'll do is I'll get all the names. We'll give it until Monday. I'll put all the names and then we'll announce who the winner is, because obviously some people are working, some people are sleeping, so it's not fair just to say first come gets it. So put it all in there. We'll put a little who will win, and we'll maybe do a shorts video during the week or something to see. So if you, these is worth having. This is worth having. As I say, I've seen some flights that Brendan has done since he's had the upgrade, and they've been quite heavy and not a problem at all. It would save you money and time, because if you order a new undercarriage from Horizon Hobby or wherever you can get it, one, it's expensive, and two, it'll take forever to get to you. Where if you take a bit of time now, which is not really taking me a lot of time, it's only because I've been on the video, then it's fantastic. But I'm happy. Now, once again, do take pictures of every stage. So take off stuff, take a picture. Because if you like me, I've got a short-term memory. I went to put the the suspension back on. It was like, so yeah. And obviously, it's up to you if you keep it. I turned the bolts facing away from that because it looked like it was touching that, and these two face inwards and bits and pieces. They're all nylock, so they shouldn't come loose, he says. But I'm really happy with that. Anyway, if you're getting out flying this weekend, then be safe. But please keep safe. And in UK, it is Guy Fawkes night this weekend, where we have firework displays and everything else. I don't think they do it anywhere else, because Guy Fawkes was the person that wanted to blow up Parliament in the UK. And we celebrate that night by lighting bonfires, bonfire night, and fireworks. So please be safe as well. And if you've got cats, dogs and pets and everything, keep them inside. Think about them, yeah? On that bombshell, thanks for popping by. I love each and every one of you. And next week, who knows what we're going to be building next week. And it might even be a bit of sunny weather like today, and the field might have dried out a bit. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But listen, thanks for popping by again. And you keep safe now. Ta-da. Bye-bye.